everybody. Welcome down to Old Allen's. Got loads to show you. Come with me. Excuse the smoking barrel. Just having a bit of a burn up of stuff. Come on. Regular viewers will remember that last winter, well, it wasn't last winter, but it was early part of this year, I put in this the hazel from the tree I coppiced in the woods. Made the framework up and laid this hedge down with, laid it down with what was here, as good as I'd got available. But it's working, you know, it's pretty good. So hopefully with everything else I planted in a couple of years time, that'll be a good solid hedge. Now the next layer to that, I'll show you that now. Let's go take a look at the saplings that Ant gave me. So just here's one of them. Beautiful little hazel sapling doing well. Blackthorn next to it. Hazel, walnut, so we go down the line. But I've just literally cleared around these to give them a bit more light, because this was all wild again. And that's going to be a theme that I have to keep doing, but this is where we're going to put in the framework for the laying of the hedge for the next section. None of this can be laid yet. This needs to actually grow up properly, but as we go on, we'll get planting up, and if there are sections further down that can be laid, great, we'll get that done. Right, you'll remember the hedging back there, the laid hedge. I coppiced a great big hazel. There's the pile of wood from it, which still needs processing. Cut down to a stump. So after 1 year, oh look, what's that, 7.5, 8 feet? In another 7 years time, 7 to 9, that'll be ready to coppice again. Magic. So far this year, Mary and I have planted in 58 trees now. A decent portion of those are hazels, because we need a future crop. So fantastic woodland understory tree. Now I've got to say, it's not all fantastic news, and this bit's really sad actually, because this involved money from a lot of you guys. We asked for hedging fund, buy us a hedge, and you did. You know, 75% of the hedging that we bought, you paid for. I did my research, and you know, it's like, right, deer are going to leave laurel alone. Laurel coats, I know laurel coats with dry, and I know it coats with shade. So I thought, right, we're going to buy a laurel hedge to cut off the road. What I didn't know is that although laurel is poisonous to rabbits, rabbits love eating laurel. And so they absolutely decimated it to begin with, and then once they'd decimated it, obviously it had to put a lot of energy into reliefing. Now although we protected it, it had to put a lot of energy into reliefing. Couple that with then the dry weather coming. Shut it, pheasant. Couple that with the dry weather coming, and I think it was just too much. So let's go take a look at the devastation. Right, forgive all the road noise. So we protected it with loads of these. So now we've got a load of plastic to get out of the woods. Right. just couldn't cope. And that story is the same all the way along this road. The only saving grace is that down by the gate, where it hasn't been browsed, it's survived. And is coming on okay. So there is that. Some of them have survived, but all the way along this road, unfortunately, they've died. So I'm really sorry about that, guys. That's and girls. That's on us. That's real bad. Given that, and being fair, anyone who bought us a coffee, as it were, to buy these, as it was a failure, if you would like your money back, you know, I'm prepared to give it back, because we did the best we can, but it didn't work. I made a mistake. So hands up if you guys want or need the money back that you gave us. You can have it back. So let us know if you do. All right, cheers. You see the tawny owl box. That's the second one. That was put in by a group called the Bucks, Owl and Raptor group, and originally it was a timber box made out of plywood, and it was starting to fall apart. Now they came in to do a check on the box and saw that it was falling apart. I'd paid for the first one, but then they replaced that free of charge, and that's now it's like made out of composite board apparently. There are tawny owls around here. There's quite a lot around, but we have yet to have tawny owls nest in it. The first year we had it, we had jackdaws nesting in it, and sadly this year it was a duck that nested in it, and the duck could get out, but the ducklings couldn't. So when they came to check the box and empty it and all of that, unfortunately there was a bunch of dead ducklings inside the box, which didn't make us feel great. But how and why a duck decided it would be a good idea to nest up there in the middle of this wood when there is not really any significant water nearby. Obviously we've got the stream, but you don't ever get ducks on the stream. The nearest pond is probably a quarter of a mile away, so not the best site for a duck to nest, but fingers crossed for a tawny owl in the future. Much has been said about ash dieback. Certainly it's in this wood. A lot of the wood is mature ash, so I'm going to lose a lot of the wood. 2 years ago I think, possibly 3, I planted in this little tiny lime tree, and that was, you can see I fenced it off. It was way down. It was about knee height. So that's shooting for the sky, which is brilliant. One of the first trees, let's go take a look at one of the first trees I've planted down here. Let's take a look at that now. So I've had to come off the tripod for this one because the tripod won't show you that high. It's a sycamore, came out of my brother Tom's garden, and where are we? There is about 4 foot. So let's go back up. There's about 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, but about 20 foot tall now. So yeah, doing well. And this is how the man-made structures are, well, I say man and woman made, person made. God, let's get him in the 21st century. Made by they, them, it, and others. This is how it's looking at the end of 2021. We've got the original ice cream trailer shepherd's hut, still doing a fabulous job, and we'll have a quick glance in there in a moment. The deck, which has gone in this year. Behind the deck is the toadstool house, roundhouse, whatever, effectively storage shed these days, if I'm honest. And then the new addition, which is the porter cabin roll-along style of thing, and I'll show you in there as well. So here's the hut as it is in late 2021. For those of you that remember the hut in the bad old days, which I'm calling BM, before Mary, it was very much a rustic affair, and you know, Mary has created a much more luxurious, comfortable space to be in. It definitely benefits from the woman's touch. So, big comfy bed. Ideal. Now this hut is a bit small, but this hut is absolutely ideal. Mary can sleep in here perfect. She can stretch out. I can't stretch out in here. I can sleep very comfortably if I'm on my own diagonally, but it's just a little bit too narrow for me. You can see I'm touching wall and window, so it's just a little bit too narrow for me. But that said, we still both managed to sleep in here quite comfortably, really. The little cooker, that was a real bonus getting that in. Little old gas cooker. We've got all the electrics, you can see down there maybe. So here we are. We upgraded the electrical system. Still the same inverter and everything, but we put on a new battery, a proper leisure battery and all that, so we can run a little kitchen, little fridge on a weekend, and we've still got all the charging capabilities, as you can see, for camera batteries, which is a really handy thing. But we've also got proper little ceiling lights now. So there's 3 of those, and they're all just linked up permanently as ever. We can have the radio on when it comes on. Here we are.
Of 11 degrees. Temperature's not really dropping overnight. Tomorrow will feel slight.
There you go. All the usual books and bits and bobs, coats, jackets, wheel arch storage. Oops. You can't open the wheel arch storage when you're trying to charge a battery. Memo to note myself. Lots and lots of underbed storage for tents, sleeping bags, all manner of things under there. And yeah, as you can see, there's even a helium pillow. Amazing. But that's where all the electrical gubbins is wired into as well. So right, coming over to this one, we have what will be Dragonfly Lodge. So welcome to Dragonfly Lodge. Right, as you can see at the minute, it's very much a work in progress. but it's way bigger than the other one. I can't touch sides, so that means I can sleep in here. Yay! It's, oh god, I don't even know how long it is. I think it's 17 feet long, possibly 18, and it's internally it's about 7.5 foot wide. Now, plans for this, what we're doing down this end is going to be a built-in bunks. So you have one low down bunk, one high bunk, and there will be a wall, and the bunks will be behind the wall, but with sort of like cutouts for access, so they'll actually be quite private. So that's pretty cool. This is a bog standard IKEA sofa bed, and we have in summer slept on it in here, and it was really comfy. But that will turn round and go against this wall that we're building in, against the bunk wall, and be here. So there'll be sleeping available in here, sleeping space in here for if you share a bunk, if you share the bed and the 2 bunks, then sleeping for 4. So a family of 4 could sleep in here. So that's a huge upgrade on 2 really friendly people sleeping in there versus a family of 4 in here. This area over here, so the IKEA sofa bed will come up from this point where the window is. That's where the bunks are going to end. It's going to come to about here somewhere, and then there will be a kitchen area coming out, little L-shapey kitchen piece. Obviously the stove is going in here, and unlike Stokes Manor just across the way that we've just been in, Dragonfly Lodge is actually insulated. Now it doesn't feel like it now because there is no source of heat in here, and it's like a fridge in here right now. But the walls are insulated, the ceiling is insulated, and the floor is insulated. Only to sort of, I guess, caravan standards, but you know, it's better than nothing. So up in this ceiling, when I redid all of this, there is polystyrene up here between the original roof and the new tin roof I put on the top and this boarding. So, but there is a gap in that, which is just up above where this stovepipe is. So there is an area that has no insulation on that bit, and on order, so it should be delivered to me at some point this week hopefully, is the flashing kit that I need to go through the roof, just like I did on Stokes Manor. So that should arrive this week. So fingers crossed, if we have a dry weekend, I'll be able to get on with that on Saturday. This is where the kitchen's going to be. So where this table is for the time being, this is a table that is now surplus to our requirements, but we just brought it down here temporarily to get it out of the way when we moved, and it sits here for now. But effectively this is where the sink's going to be, so this is the washing up, look out the window, very nice. There will be another wall here because this is going to have an internal indoor composting loo. So when it's cold, wet and rainy, you don't have to go out to the shed to use the toilet. You can use the toilet in here, or if it's a nighttime visit, you can use the toilet in here. Big upgrade. So that's going into a little room in this corner with a door and everything, all fenced off. That already has a vent. Right, so yeah, we've got sort of kind of L-shapey kitchen-y bit, toilet, stove. Over here is going to be like, you know, coats and boots and all of that, hanging space. So yeah, that's the plan. It is small, and I should measure it out properly so I know exactly how big it is because I can't remember. But Oh, the other plan is on this wall opposite where the sofa bed's going to be. So over on this wall, because it's a nice big space which we're hoping to keep fairly clear of stuff, there'll be a shelf up above here, above the sort of kitchen area, or even above the blind possibly, but we're going to put a projector up there so you can project movies onto the wall. So really putting in some creature comforts into this one. So you've got the little stove going, you'll be lovely and toasty warm, you've got a nice comfortable sofa and nice comfortable beds. You can have a DVD movie night, you know, or Bluetooth the movie from your phone. You can watch YouTube from your phone on a big screen. That's the plan. So lots and lots and lots of work to do in here. But as with all of the projects, we're trying to buy as little new as possible. There's certain things we have had to buy new, but I was given the cabinets down here. This was second hand. We actually had it in the old flat. We're going to utilise that in here. Obviously this we had to buy new. The blinds we bought new. The flooring we bought new. God, yeah, loads of stuff new. This was second hand. Came with our tent. And the idea with this is that we'll use it in here, and then when we want to go camping and take the tent and the stove, we'll just take this out and cap the top while we're away, and then pop it back in. Job's good. But yeah, the idea is most stuff is going to be second hand, because obviously it just keeps the cost right down and it's better environmentally and yada yada yada, and all the stuff we know. If you don't need to make it from scratch, don't make it from scratch. Simple as that. If it's already out there, reuse it. On that theme, so like these are old futon bases. They're absolutely fine, nothing wrong with them, but the people that owned them were just chucking them out, and they offered them to me because they know I'm a bit of a scavenger. And you know, so those are going to make the bases of the bunks, and they will literally be built in as they are in situ, and you know, we'll build all the framing to suit them, but then they're there, and then you just put the mattress on. Fantastic, you know, we're away. Or you can even use, you know, just a regular camping mat on them for the time being. So you know, just making things as simple as possible. The cabinets, the kitchen cabinets, there was a guy bought those. He had the kitchen in and fitted, and he had it fitted for about a year, and then he changed his mind. He didn't like the kitchen anymore. So he was like, do you want these? You know, worth about 100 quid, but I just want rid of them. You're like, well, yeah, great. So I got them, and I got the doors for them under there. I mean, literally, these doors haven't even been fitted. They've still got the plastic on. And the guy was binning them. I mean, that's the world we live in, unfortunately. But if you're flexible and amenable, you can benefit from that, and you could save stuff going into landfill. But I just don't get it. You know, yeah, sure, it'd be lovely to have a nice wooden door instead, and possibly a less grey door, but you know, it's free and it's just going to go to waste otherwise. It's just crazy. So there we go. This is, as I say, Dragonfly Lodge. Now I do say this every year, but this year may be the year that I actually move the wind turbine, because tucked right down here by the wood, it is far from its best efficiency. Now there is very genuinely almost no breeze at all today, it is it is really quiet and still, the air. But even so, it does take far too much wind to get that turbine going. So what would be far better is to put that out into the field, and it's a bit of work to move that, so that's why I haven't done it, but it would be good to get that out somewhere where it is far more efficient. But I will need to sort of like plant up, if it goes out into the field, I will need to plant up sort of shrubs and things around the guy cables, because otherwise people are just going to walk into them. I'll run into them with the mower, you know, just it's just going to be chaos. So I need to make that as safe as possible, but put it somewhere where it's going to function much better. Now, the reason I'm down at Dragonfly Lodge today, really, is to make up some curtain poles, because the blinds in there don't quite, well, they cover the window, and they're as long as they could be given the walls that we want to build, but they don't quite cover the edge of the glass, because the blind hangs forward, so you can sort of quite easily see through. Although the windows are very high on the outside, you can quite easily see through into the hut from outside. So using old toilet tent poles, this is going to be a curtain pole, and I have manufactured on the 1950s sewing machine some curtain sort of end bits out of old toilet tents. So the plan is to rig up some way of fixing these. Oh, I'm going to right pig's ear of this bit. So onto the poles either side, fix the poles up. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Fix the poles up either side. You get the idea, either side of the window. So that's what we're going to do. Beautification. So that's pretty good. It's an amazing colour match between the blind and the thing. So this is without blind, and that's with. So it just helps block that a little bit, and then still roll that up. Tiny bit more decorative. Now that pole is just resting on the top for the time being. I mean, if I was going to come out with some sort of bracket there like that, but if I do that, I know it still does the job, still blocks it in. Here's an example of how things work down at Old Alan's. I literally just said about 20 minutes ago, I sort of want a bracket or something. It's just going to hold that out a little bit, maybe. Come with me. This ladder I picked up for a tenner yesterday, with the intention of cutting it up and using the timber from it. And look at that. There is a bracket which will bolt on to form the thing. And there's another section to it just behind the camera which has got another couple of those on. Winner winner.